ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, January 13th, and your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, and we are opening that up now. 304-396-8255. 304-396-TALK. That's the number to be a part of today's show. And to give you a little added incentive, I've got another pair of tickets to tomorrow's Marshall men's contest against Coastal Carolina. I'm going to give you a chance to win those tickets. How do you enter? Well, you got the number. You know how to do it. If you don't, you hit send on your phone after you compose a well-thought-out text to be a part of the show today. That's real simple. All you have to do. I'll give you that number one more time. 304-396-TALK, which is 304-396-8255. Coming up on the program today, Marshall women's basketball team's been pretty good as of late. Thundering Herd has won 10 in a row, 15-3 overall, 6-0 in league play, undefeated. Blessing King is going to join us in the next few minutes, talk a little bit about the team's success so far. The Herd's going to be on the road taking on JMU. That is coming up on Thursday. And so we'll talk to Blessing in just a few minutes. So if you've got any thoughts on the Marshall women's basketball team, now's the time to get those questions in. And again, chance to win tickets to see the men tomorrow as part of the incentive to be a part of today's show. I don't know if today we really get into what happened with Pittsburgh, because I think a lot of people are still trying to process it. Houston eliminates Pittsburgh yesterday 30-6, and then Mike Tomlin ties Marvin Lewis for consecutive losses in the postseason. Marvin Lewis lost 7 straight, and that's why a lot of Cincinnati Bengals fans were just ready to see him go, because you could get to the postseason, you get to the playoffs, and you just couldn't get past the first round. It sort of tempered a little bit the excitement of getting into the postseason. Like, hey, yeah, we're in the postseason, but then you don't do anything. And that's been the same for the Pittsburgh Steelers for several years now. Now, Mike Tomlin is a hell of a coach. The consistency he brought to Pittsburgh is going to be unrivaled for a long time. Unfortunately, that's great. Wins in the postseason, winning championships, that's all that really matters. You can have all the winning seasons you want. At the end of the day, how many rings did you bring? And he brought one. He won 1 Super Bowl as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a far cry from the golden era of Pittsburgh Steelers football in the 70s. But still, won a Super Bowl. The Steelers had 6 total, and he was a big part of the Steelers' consistency for almost 20 years. He steps down. He makes the decision to step down, and now the Steelers are going to be looking for its 4th head coach since, 1969? 1969, 3 coaches. That's a tremendous run. That's a tremendous level of consistency. You can say what you will about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as a Bengals fan, I love trolling my friends that are Steelers fans. Absolutely. Because let's be honest, those terrible towels, sorry, no disrespect to Myron Cope, that's dumb. And I will always say that. The terrible towel is dumb. Waving your towel, I get it. Okay. We don't need to make a cultish religion out of it. At the same time, though, a lot of tradition, a lot of winning, a lot of success. Just it kind of topped off. You win that Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin, and then you have for the next how many years, every time you get into the postseason, you can't do anything. And so he steps down today. He would be a highly sought-after coach if he decided he wanted to get back into coaching. He would definitely be someone that the broadcast networks would love to court and bring on board. It would probably be a good move for him if he wanted to make that step into the broadcasting booth. He wanted to be a studio analyst. Maybe he wanted to be a color analyst. Who knows what he would want to do, but he definitely could make that transition. Knows the game, heck of a coach, unfortunately, for Steelers fans. A lot of mourning here today. Now, usually I would just be rubbing salt in the wound, but at the same time, I do respect the fact that Mike Tomlin was a hell of a coach, and he did a lot of good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can't take that away from him. So, with that being said, isn't it great to see the Pittsburgh Steelers lose again, losing to Houston 30-6? Oh, what a relief that was. No more. Now, if they bring in a new coach, that's a tough act to follow. And the expectations will be you got to continue to win. And the expectations will be, look, the standard is the standard, so you got to win playoff games and get back to the Super Bowl. So that's going to be the expectation for any individual that takes that job. Now, I've seen the memes. It could be the funniest thing ever if you see Tomlin wearing a Ravens coaching jersey, coaching shirt. If he was coaching for the Ravens and Harbaugh was coaching for the Steelers, that would be the funniest thing ever. And I've seen that, and I'm hoping that kind of happens. But now we're at that point where Zach Taylor is the only coach left. That's it. In the AFC North, all the others are gone. It's Zach Taylor. And unfortunately, I don't know if Zach's going to be able to get it done. I know there's a lot of pressure on the Cincinnati Bengals to do something. Well, at least there's a lot of vocal pressure. I just don't know if they feel that pressure. And it's been a disappointment over these last few years. You have a once-in-a-generation quarterback. You have a once-in-a-generation wide receiver. You have the potential to be a dangerous team and possibly make a run. And unfortunately, the bare minimum is being done from the organization. And so, player personnel, not many good decisions going on here with the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's where we're at right now with the NFL. We're going to turn our attention to something that is working, and that's Marshall women's basketball. Blessing King is going to join us on the other side of the break. She is going to tell us why this Thundering Herd team is 15-3, 6-0 in league play as the Herd contending for a conference championship. Wouldn't that be something? 2 conference championships in the regular season out of 3 seasons. Maybe another run in the Sun Belt Conference tournament and possibly another NCAA berth. That would be something to see if the Marshall women could pull that off. 2 out of 3, that would be something to talk about for a long time. And I would love to see that program just grow and flourish. And I think Julie Folks has got everything rolling right now. So we're going to talk to Blessing in just a few minutes. And, of course, don't forget, we've got our text line open. It's now for you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Also, we're going to talk a little bit more later on about the shape of college football when it comes to eligibility, the red shirt rule. That's something that's been making the rounds. We'll talk about that as well. All of that's coming up on today's edition of The Drive right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Let the Car Ferry bring a little magic to your driveway at Mark Porter Auto Group. With locations in Pomeroy, Jackson, Ohio, and Ashland, Kentucky. Want to shop 24 hours a day? Cozy up with a cup of cider and browse our full inventory anytime at markporterautogroup.com. Fall into a safe, reliable vehicle and let the Car Ferry guide you to Mark Porter Auto Group in Pomeroy, Jackson, and Ashland. Or shop 24/7 at markporterautogroup.com.
Kinetic Fiber Internet wants to know, is slow cable internet leaving you lagging? Well, the next big leap in internet is here, and there, and over that way too. Because Kinetic is bringing ultra-fast 100% fiber with Wi-Fi 7 to everyone. And with the Kinetic Promise, we'll make sure every room and every device is connected and working before we leave. Get with the future. Go with 100% fiber. Switch to the new Kinetic Fiber Max plan and get $200 plus a 3-year price guarantee. Visit GoKinetic.com. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms and conditions apply.
Roosters presents Bowl Mania. Kendrick Communications and Roosters have joined forces to bring you nearly 40 bowl games, from the opening kickoffs to the massive New Year's showdowns and the College Football Playoff National Championship. We're bringing you every heart-pounding moment. Listen to the full slate of action on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. It's time to go bowling. Bowl Mania is an exclusive presentation of Kendrick Communications Sports, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue on with this Tuesday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see the Herd tomorrow at home. And then on Thursday, we're all going to be watching on ESPN Plus as the Thundering Herd looking to improve on the women's side to 16-3 and 7-0 in league play. Joining us now to tell us more about this tremendous run is Marshall guard Blessing King. And Blessing, and first of all, thanks for doing it. I know you are the go-to when it comes to broadcasting for the basketball team, but it's always good to talk to you. How you been?
I've been great. Thanks for having me.
This has been an exciting run for the team. You're right now 15-3, as we mentioned. And is there a point in the season where you kind of felt it coming together to go on this run?
I think honestly all season, like, we've known how good we can be and the pieces that we have. Like, we know our team, our skill sets, and we've known that we could make a run. It's just about coming together, believing in, like, Julie's plan for us, and just trusting the process and trusting each other as teammates and our coaches. And I think it's just all coming together at the right time.
And you showed that you belong. It was a tough loss against Indiana, and you performed well against Kentucky. And those are some major opponents early on in the schedule. Did that really help kind of solidify this team's belief that we can just go out there, we can play with anybody?
Yeah, for sure. I think both Indiana and Kentucky being Power 5 or Power 4 opponents, like, us being able to compete with them being bigger and, like, having different skill sets, and just us staying in the game and trusting the things that we do as a team, and just seeing that we could score against teams like that and also defend. I think, honestly, a big confidence boost, and what's helped us, like, in conference play too, because we have seen that we can play with anybody, basically.
And it's got to help you as well, the confidence, because there have been moments where you look at the scoreboard and the Herd's down, and for those who maybe are watching or kind of concerned, okay, can Marshall come back? For you, has it been like, okay, we got him right where we want him?
Yeah, I think even in the Indiana game, like, we had found ourselves down. I don't know if it was like 10 or more points, I think, in the fourth quarter, and we ended up coming back and only losing by, I think, like 4 or 5 points. So even against bigger teams like that, like, our coaches just tell us, trust what we're doing. We try to stay together as a team to, like, keep picking each other up, and, like, not letting the lows be lows. And it's just a game of runs. That's what Coach Julie always says. So just honestly, like, continuing the process and just keep going throughout the games.
So that confidence is there. Nobody's worried, panicked. Is that maybe why you've been so successful on this run? It's because when you get down, nobody's panicking. It's just, okay, let's go get the next basket.
Yes, and I think, like, we do a good job of keeping each other in the moment and not worrying about, like, oh, what I did last play, or just a bad pass or a bad turnover I had. Just keeping, like, on to the next play. I think that's what's helped us. And, like, honestly, even in those moments, like, I don't a lot of the time realize, like, whenever we're down, it doesn't feel like we're down by a lot. It's just like, how can we chip away? So
second season for you. So where have you seen the growth? First, let's ask about your coach. You know, you've been with her last year. You're with her again. This team started to put together toward the end of the conference tournament. You saw, okay, this is what this is going to look like once it's really going. What's been maybe from year one to year two, what's been the biggest change, or what have you seen as far as the growth?
I think the biggest thing was having like some of us returning players from last year. So like last year there was a lot of newcomers and Julie was new too. So we were all just kind of trying to figure each other out. And there was definitely some growing pains, but like having us returners there to be able to like help the new people and show them this is what Julie wants, this is specifically how it's supposed to be done. And just having them able to watch us do like our defense and learn the zone in different spots on offense. Just like being there for each other as a team and helping each other, and like being with Julie for a year, we know what she likes, what she wants to see. So I think that's helped, like just having returners able to help the newcomers too.
You mentioned growing pains. So anything you can highlight, anything specific that comes to mind?
Yeah, I think last year, like obviously we struggled when conference play, or honestly most of the season, it didn't really click for us until the conference tournament. And I think it just took a while for us to really trust Julie's system and just like understand it, because we didn't really have anybody that we could watch specifically. Like obviously we could watch her previous teams, but it's a lot harder than actually doing it. So just being able to like do what she wanted us to do and finally figure it all out at the perfect time last year helped us a lot.
Coach has had a tremendous career. She's a winner. So that attitude, that system, it's successful. She's won a national championship at a different level. So she has that pedigree. But did you see any change in her, or any growth from her as she steps up maybe to a different level, kind of to find her footing? Or was it, okay, it just took some time for everyone to kind of get on the same page with her? What was was there in between where she had to come to you a little bit and you as a team had to come to her?
Yeah, I think with Julie, like she's always since day one just been the same, like consistent and like what she wants out of us. And even with the things like we struggled in conference play last year to start, even with that, she never like took it out on us or just made sure that we just kept trusting the process and told us like it's going to come together. It's going to come together. And I think that's really what helped us. Like it wasn't like it was hard last year, but we all stuck together, and Julie was so positive and like helping us just know that eventually things were going to we were going to get it figured out.
She always seems so positive, as you mentioned, but at the same time, you watch enough games, she's on the sideline. There's a different shade of her. That personality comes out a little bit, especially when a call doesn't go the Herd's way. Did that surprise you initially? Because she seems so laid back. It's not that passive laid back. It's just like, okay, she's chill, and then all of a sudden, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Was that ever a surprise to you when you first started trying to get used to her?
I think I've played for this is my third school, so I've played for like different types of coaches and like been able to read what like when they're happy or what they like and what they don't like. So I think it was just Julie's competitive, and we all are competitive too. So it was like I think honestly seeing that side of her, like when that competitiveness comes out, especially in the conference tournament last year, like it helped us all be like, okay, like she wants to win just as badly as we do, which that helps in seeing when your coach, like when you see that out of a coach, like it makes you want to compete harder. So.
Blessing King joins us, the Thundering Herd on the road this week, hoping to continue undefeated play in league action. 6-0 right now, 15-3 overall. For you, Blessing, we've talked about Julie and where she's come from and how this team has progressed. For you, where's the growth been? What is the difference for you from last year to this year?
I think Julie told me, like, even when I was being recruited, that I was going to be able to play more on the perimeter and just, like, expand my skill set as a player and honestly be a leader, too. I think I've grown a lot since last year in being a leader on the court and off the court for my teammates, and just, like, being able to pick up my teammates when they're struggling or, like, not getting so in my head when I'm struggling, just being able to be there for my team, because ultimately we all want to win. So just putting the team first, I think, like, I've grown as a player and as a leader in that way.
Was that something you wanted to be, a leader, or did that come natural and she was just trying to bring that out of you?
I think it does come a little bit naturally, but like it was hard for me to see it at first that like my voice is important too. Like my teammates want to hear what I have to say, and like I can bring insight to different things, or just for like the underclassmen too, just like helping them out helping them get to their spots and like figuring out the offense and defense and just being helpful in whatever way I can.
Blessing King is with us. The Thundering Herd sporting a 15-3 record, 6-0 in league play, almost unstoppable at home at 10-1. So this is an important road trip for you now. The Thundering Herd 3-2, haven't been away much from the Henderson Center. So do you see that sort of as a personal challenge that, hey, we got to really get this thing going on the road? We've been really unstoppable at home, but we got to go out there now and improve it, that we can do it away from the Henderson Center.
Yeah, coming into this year, like Julie told us, we have a lot of home games. We got to defend home court. So obviously everybody loves playing at home, but I think us having those two conference away games that we won, I think it was Coastal and App State, I think that helped like as a confidence boost for us too. Like, because having those first couple early games on the road is like, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going to get out of your team, but playing those games, I think, helped us for the confidence we need going into this tough stretch right here.
And it also maybe gives you an idea of what league play is going to be. It's different at the Henderson Center than it is on the road. You have to bring your own energy, it seems, more so on the road. It's not because their fans aren't as loud or as energized. It's just there are more of them at the Henderson Center than it usually are at the road, when you go on the road.
Yeah.
How challenging is that, just to know you have to kind of bring that extra energy when you go into an opposing gym like that, and it could be quiet and there's hardly anybody there?
I think, honestly, our practices help us in a way with that because, like, Julie always makes sure in practice, like, we need to bring our own energy. Like, she makes it an emphasis that, like, the coaches can't be the only ones bringing the energy. So even in our practices, we try to, like, have energy because at practice, we don't have the fans that we have at our home games. So it's just us and the coaches at practice. And I think that like helps us going into games. So we know the energy we need to bring, and it's just our team. So regardless of what the other team's going to do or what their fans are saying, we just have to be us.
Blessing King is with us. Thundering Herd getting set for road, taking on James Madison. So for you, now that you've kind of had some time to take it all in, and play on this team for a couple of years and watch it grow alongside of what you're doing, who's been more of I'll start with this. At this point, who's exciting you the most every time that she's on the court? Who are you excited for just to watch her play or to work with her and to play with her? Who's got that for you right now?
I think I would say Peyton Ilderton. Like, I tell people that watch our games, and even with my family, like, Peyton is our heart. Like, and when things like, she's our point guard, obviously, and the point guard is one of the most important players because they're kind of an extension of the coach. But Peyton, like, has been such a great leader and just teammate throughout the year, even through the summer. Like, she just always brings the energy every day. And even in our games where, like you mentioned, us being down, there's been a couple where, like, there's a gut check moment, and Peyton is almost always the one that brings that gut check moment for us, and where we like flip the switch, where things turn, like the momentum flips to our side. So I would say Peyton.
And she's probably the feistiest one out there. Is that fair to say? She's the one you don't want to challenge because you're going to have to work all day if you really annoy her, right? If you're the opposing team.
Yeah. I would say this, yeah. Even on defense, like she's a pest. So I wouldn't want to have to face her if I was on the other team for sure.
Who else has really turned it around for you? Or maybe not turned it around, but who's pleasantly surprised you on this team? It could be one of the newer kids that came in, because you're the vet now, so you can call him the kid. Mm-hmm. Or, somebody that's been here a couple of years who's really, maybe stood out for you.
I wouldn't necessarily say like anybody surprised me because I see every day like the work everybody puts in and like what preparation they put in practice and how hard they go. So honestly, everybody has, I feel like, improved their game in some way this year from like last year that has helped us in some way, or just like understanding roles and understanding what you need to bring to the team and what you need to do in order for us to all win.
Now, I'll ask it this way then. And our guest is Blessing King, the Thundering Herd getting set to take on JMU, trying to remain undefeated in league play. I know you go at it hard in practice. I've been in the Henderson Center a couple of times on my way, and I've stopped and watched a couple of minutes. I'm sure that everybody goes after each other pretty hard, but who are you just so tired of looking at every single day in practice? Who's your nemesis out there? That's maybe I'm curious about who's the one just like, oh, I got to go after her again, or all right, all right, I'm going to show her today. Who's that person for you?
I wouldn't say I have a nemesis, but I would say Tamaya, I always, during practice, I would say I would hate to be the other team because just on defense, like, she's so long. She goes after steals. She just, honestly, a headache to play against, and I'm just blessed to have her on my team because I wouldn't want to have to go against that every day. So probably Tamaya.
Okay, so she's the one that gives you probably the most grief, and, you know, you basically, she pushes you. I'm sure you give as good as you get, though.
Yeah, I think one, like, the best part about our practices is we're all so competitive. So that's probably what's helped us, like, reach this level of success this year is that we're all going hard, like, because we need each other to be better. So that's another thing I love about this team. Like, we all go hard all the time, and we're just competitive. So we want to win, and our one person's success on the team is just group success. Any
pressure now that you're off to this start? 10 straight, 15-3. Mm-hmm. Undefeated in league play. You want to keep this going for as long as you possibly can. Is there any pressure now that you start stacking up wins?
I wouldn't say pressure because coming into this season, a lot of people didn't expect this, or at least I would say around the Sun Belt. Like, I think they ranked us preseason 10th. And so right now, in other people's eyes, we're overperforming. And to us, obviously, we knew what we were capable of. It was just about doing what we know we can do. So coming out every day, like, we just try and perform how we know how we practice. Just do what we're able to do and, like, keep the same mindset of just get next play, next day, like, next game, just focus on the games in front of us and don't let the outside noise kind of come in. So I think we're honestly overperforming from what, despite, like, us doing so well in the conference tournament last year, I think, like, a lot of people might have thought maybe that was a fluke or the Sun Belt didn't really, like, they weren't around the Sun Belt. I would say, like, they ranked us 10th. So, I mean, I think we just come out this year and, like, just doing what we knew what we could do.
So you're on the road now. You have a familiar foe. What do you think's changed? What do you think that rematch is going to be like?
I think JMU is going to come out hungry because after us, I think they've lost two. I'm not sure if it's been. Yeah, they've lost two more conference games. So that might be more than they've lost in the last, like, 3 years during the regular season. So we know they're going to come out hungry, and playing a team the second time is always harder. So we've just got to do what we prepare, like how we prepare, just keep doing what works for us best, and, like, just go out there and play.
Blessing King with us, the Thundering Herd getting set to take on JMU. That's coming up on Thursday. Thundering Herd looking to stay undefeated in league play. You got 4 straight on the road before you get back to the Henderson Center on January 28th. That's going to be fun, at least, right? Yeah. Get on the road a little bit. You like getting on the road a lot more, especially in a bunch of games like this. Obviously, you're not on the road continuously, but is it fun just now and then to kind of get away from the Henderson Center, go out on the road, or if you could just play them all at home?
I think if I could, in a perfect world, I would play them all at home because there's nothing like playing in the Henderson Center and just having the fans there and cheering you on. And, like, honestly, we get such great support from the community. So I would say, like, if I could play at home, I would. But on the road is definitely a different type of energy. Like, it's kind of backs against the wall. You have to produce your own energy and just come out and play. And, like, you can't let any outside noise affect you. And you kind of have to find a routine on the road. So it's definitely a little bit more difficult, but yeah.
Blessing King's with us. Okay, give me a double on Thursday. Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I want.
Yes, I'll try.
What do you want? You want double in points, assists, rebounds? Where do you want to make the double happen? What do you want to do?
Points and rebounds is usually my go-to.
Right.
I usually get the rebounds. Sometimes the points are what I need to bring up. So probably points and rebounds.
Okay, so Blessing
King too. Maybe, like, that could be in a different type of world. Steals, that would be like my dream type of double.
Okay, yeah. It's points and steals.
Yeah, if I could.
Okay, so we want a Blessing King double-double, which would be points and steals. 10 steals minimum, 10 points minimum. That's what we want on Thursday. You know, I'm gonna hold you to that now. I'm gonna be asking.
Okay,
for the,
maybe points and rebounds then.
Okay, all right. I want the Blessing King. You know, that's what we're gonna call it, the Blessing King double-double. Points and rebounds.
Okay.
And anytime anyone gets a points and rebounds double-double on this team, that's the Blessing King double-double.
Okay, I love that.
You think Coach will go with that?
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, let her know. That's what I want to call that, the Blessing King
Okay.
double-double. She's going to shake her
I'll let
head,
her
isn't she?
know.
Yeah, she's going to shake her head at both of us going, I'm not letting you back on the radio. Not with that. Blessing. Good talking to you again. Thanks for doing it. As always, it's been a fun run so far, and I can't wait to see how far you can take it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Blessing King, everyone. She's going to get the Blessing King double-double. You heard that now. At least 10 points and at least 10 rebounds. Text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, it's time to get to the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And believe it or not, we had a text come in during the interview with Blessing King, wanted to ask a question. Blessing was still on the line with me before we said goodbye. I asked the question. Let me read the text. Texter says, Paul, first of all, congratulations to the team on 10 wins in a row and to Blessing King. We've been following this team all season, but weren't able to go to a game until the last 2 home games. Question, how intense is Coach Folks in practice, and how do you all keep the intensity and resiliency to come back and win these games? I think we answered part of that. For the intensity part, she said when we were talking off air that she wouldn't call the practices intense. She would call them intentional. Everything that they work on in practice, she said, it takes place in the ball game. It's a lot of prep. It's prep-based practice. She's not yelling and she's not admonishing the team. So it's very intentional. And I like that, is what she said. So that's kind of how practice is running. And I've been by a couple of times and I've seen them work. And so, she loves analytics. Coach Folks. If you've noticed the sensors in the Henderson Center, that's because of Coach Folks. And they've got those special balls where they can track everything. And it's really cool how they do that. So intentional is probably the best way to describe that. The texter also said, thank you all for being good role models for my daughters. She loves this team. Can't wait till they're back in the camp again. And so I did share that with Blessing before we get off the phone. So she knows that. She says thank you. So you can go up to her, and if you get a chance after the game, and let her know that was you. And she was really humble about it. So Blessing's really cool. She's always fun to talk to, no matter what the situation is. Also, from the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, I don't know, this is mean. Texter says, Paul, this won't be the first time the Herd's boys team was bested by the women's team. Ask Coach Jackson how he likes them apples. Appreciate the text. The women have had a history. Tournament-wise, not so much, but the women have had a history of consistency for a long time. And then it kind of was ebbs and flows, and it lulled a little bit. And then there was that spark a couple of years ago with Kim Caldwell. She came in and she just immediately knocked it out of the park. And then Coach Folks comes in. She's got a different style, so she had to kind of put it all together for this team. And I think we saw many a time, we've alluded to this, what it was going to look like toward the end of the season, going into that tournament. And now I think that this team is off and running. Hopefully, a win on the road against JMU will kind of solidify that for a lot of people. Texter says, Paul, the Bengals have always suffered from the minimalist doctrine of the ownership. The first year the team reached the Super Bowl, Paul Brown commented on how expensive it was to participate. I think as long as fans keep buying tickets, ownership sees no business reason to improve the product. Marvin Lewis was dismissed only after a number of home games did not sell out. I think they drafted Joe Burrow to stave off what surely would have been a fan revolt. As long as there are fans in the stands, they'll keep drafting the Shamar Stewarts of the draft class. I appreciate the text. I have been disappointed with the way the Bengals have managed player personnel for a long time, because doing the bare minimum will let you feel the team. And with a guy like Joe Burrow, and you have talented wide receivers like a Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins, you're going to find success. But to sustain success and to take it to the next level, you've got to be doing everything you possibly can to win a Super Bowl. I mean, we go to these games to be entertained. And now, in the grand scheme of life here, this is the fun part of our lives, right? We go, even though we make it as miserable as we possibly can as fans, right? I think that's fair. We make it so miserable sometimes because our favorite team is almost a reflection of our image of self-worth. And I've learned to overlook that, because as a Bengals fan all my life, I'm expecting this. I'm good. I watch it for fun. I watch it for entertainment. But I want a championship as well as a fan. Don't you? Everybody that's the goal. We're watching these guys because, it's fun, it's entertaining, and we want to root on our favorite team, our favorite players to a championship. And so as an ownership, it should be the most important thing to win a championship. That's what the customers want to see. I mean, there are so many other reasons why sports are important, but the fans, the customers, they want to see you put a good product out there. They want to have a reason to come back, and if you don't give them a reason to come back, you don't make money. So it feeds itself. put the best product you can out there, be competitive, go after championships, and the fans will come, and then that'll fuel the next run. I know. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we come back year in and year out because, well, where else are we going to go, right? And to be fair as well, I don't think the Bengals are the only team with this terrible management. I will talk about a couple other of my favorite teams in other sports, but I don't think you want to hear that right now, only because, well, let's be honest with you. We see it in the NBA. We see it in the NHL. We see it in Major League Baseball. Totally different, though. And NFL, if you can put it together quickly and try to win now, I think the Bengals have a good shot. But you got to be smart. You got to improve how you handle player personnel. You've got to increase your staff. You've got to be able to know who you're drafting. That's important. Player personnel, player development, that's very important because, again, at the end of the day, this is fun. We enjoy sports. We love talking about sports, but at some point, if you keep making bad decisions and it's just bad to watch, we're not going to come back or we'll go elsewhere. And I know there are a lot of people that are married to the concept that you can't go elsewhere. And there are others who, let me tell you, they go elsewhere at a drop of a pen, no problems whatsoever. But if you are anywhere close to being a lifelong fan, you just can't go elsewhere. Traffic update. Texter tells me there's a bad wreck going across 29th Street. You cannot enter to go on 8th Avenue. If you make a right off of 5th Avenue going across 29th Street, you will have to circle back around. Heads up for anyone that may be driving in 5 o'clock traffic and or in those directions. Again, this is from a texter. We appreciate that. And honestly, we'll take traffic updates anytime during the show. Bad wreck going across 29th Street. Cannot enter to go onto 8th Avenue. If you make a right off of 5th Avenue, according to the texter, going across 29th Street, you will have to circle back around. So we appreciate the heads up. And again, anytime that you are involved in traffic situation, let me know. Again, it's The Drive. It's live. We don't want you to get stuck in traffic. Quick timeout. We will wrap this one up on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, John Garden, 304-525-1116. And in Barbersville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100.
Our Kendrick Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Daily Tire. Stop in for a checkup. Call 740-446-8473 or visit dailytire.com. Ohio Valley Bank. dedicated to giving you the financial answers you deserve. Member FDIC. Mark Porter Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Jackson, Ohio. Home of the Car Ferry. Online at markporterautogroup.com.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open, 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Let me read this text again. We got a traffic update from a listener just a few minutes ago mentioning that there's a bad wreck going across 29th Street. You cannot enter, according to the texter, to go on to 8th Avenue. If you make a right off of 5th Avenue going across 29th Street, you will have to circle back around, according to the texter. So, heads up. And we do appreciate everyone texting in when you have problems like that. So, keep us in the loop. We will make sure to share it with everybody. One more time, the text line, if you haven't got it programmed in your phone, do that when you're not driving. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Busy night, college hoops for regional action. Ohio's at Toledo tonight at 7 o'clock. It's going to be the Mountaineers taking on number 7 Houston. That's at 8:30 tonight. For those of you looking to find out more about the Herd, as Marshall gets set for Coastal Carolina and JMU on the women's side, Inside Marshall basketball coming up tonight, 7:05 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Of course, the big story of the day is going to be Mike Tomlin stepping down as the Steelers head coach after 19 seasons. Now, every coach in the AFC North except Zach Taylor has been either let go or, in Tomlin's case, has retired. So he is now the most tenured coach in the AFC North. And a lot of people are hoping that a guy like Duke Tobin is replaced and you find someone else to kind of lead the way for the Bengals. I just don't know where the change is going to come. We'll see change with the Browns. I don't know if it'll be good change, but we'll see change. The Ravens get rid of a coach that brought consistency and some championship hardware. The Steelers felt like the guy that said the standard's the standard, right? That was kind of his MO. The standard is the standard. And he's out. He steps down. The team losing its 7th straight postseason contest. That's tying Marvin Lewis's record of futility. And so Marvin is no longer alone in that regard, which is sort of a relief for Bengals fans. It doesn't improve anything. But at the same time, for a lot of Bengals fans, this was like second Christmas, part 2, after Houston beat the Steelers, eliminating them from the playoffs 30-6. So, We've got all that action coming up this weekend right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Who's left that you're going to root for? You got the Rams and the Bears. Do you pull for the Rams or the Bears? Then you got the Texans and the Patriots. All of a sudden, the Patriots are looking pretty good. And then you have the Bills and the Broncos and the 49ers and the Seahawks. Now, I will eliminate teams based off of hatred. So I'm going to have to say that I'm rooting for, based off of hatred, and that's the only way that I can really make this work for me, is I'm not a Rams fan. The Bears do not annoy me the way they annoy a lot of you. So I'm taking the Bears because I'm not rooting for the Rams. My one-game allegiance to the Houston Texans is over because I can't stand Houston, any shape or form, any iteration of that team. Houston Oilers still are kind of in my mind. And the Patriots, even though they're the Patriots, I'll pull for them. The 49ers, I hate more than anything you could possibly hate, and so I'll be rooting for the Seahawks begrudgingly. Big fan of Marcus Trufant when he was player there. Buffalo Bills at the Broncos. You know what? I'll take the Broncos. On second thought, no, I'm going to take the Bills in that one. I'm a little undecided there. I'll take the Bills. Texture says, Paul, the Bears. Go with the two West Virginia natives. Go with the Bears. All right. Go with the Bears. All right, Texture, can you tell me who those two West Virginia natives are? That's on you now. Can you tell me the two West Virginia natives? Don't forget, we're going to give you a chance to win tickets. If you have texted in today, we're going to put everyone in a drawing and randomly pick one of you to win a pair of tickets to go see the Herd tomorrow, taking on Coastal Carolina. And then if you didn't win today, don't worry. We've got tickets for the next game as well. So tomorrow we'll have a new giveaway. If you didn't win today, we're going to have tickets for Saturday. And since it's a 4-game homestand, we're going to have tickets for the next 3 games after tomorrow. So if you want tickets to see the Herd take on JMU and you didn't win today, we'll have those for you starting tomorrow. And then ULM, that'll be on the 22nd. And then we've got South Alabama on the 24th. So if you didn't win today, we'll have tickets for the next game coming up and the next game and the next game. So I'm going to try to make everybody a winner. So everybody texting in today, we definitely appreciate it. Texture says, Paul, Darnell Wright is one of 2. All right. You might be closer to the tickets there. I might put that qualification on this because you got part of that right. All right, who's the other? Let's see if I can hear it real quick. Who's the other? That's going to do it for this edition here, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Backup quarterback in Huntington High and UT alum on the line. All right, you win. That's going to do it for this edition. Second texter wrote in, Huntington High School. I love it. All right, back at it tomorrow. I'll be at the Cam Anderson Center. We'll be on the air 5:06. We got Marshall in action taking on Coastal Carolina. And, of course, you can hear it right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Have a great evening, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.